Hey everyone, this is Rim. I read the Cyborg Tinkerer by Megalator wrote it. It is the greatest thing I have ever experienced in my life. Sex, drugs, and booze take a backseat to the pure, unadulterated joy that I have attained from reading this book. I have never laughed so hard before in my life. I would like to read a quote. Hot damn. Those cheekbones could cut out a woman's heart. As Gwen's mouth dried, a woman appeared beside her, lingering in front of the slack-lined stage. By the look of her grease-stained trousers, she probably worked in the manufacturing district. Oh, what are you doing here, beautiful? Gwen muttered softly. In a louder voice, she said, "Just looking to pass the time." The woman nodded, closing the distance between them. Slowly, she wrapped one arm around Gwen's waist. I know one way we could pass the time. So yeah, this book is about Gwen, a bisexual who's dying at the beginning of the book. But more importantly, she's horny. Like really horny. Like I was once a preteen boy and I was horny all the time back then. She's hornier than that. So is everyone in this book. Like Gwen is a ship tinkerer getting hired by a cyborg circus to be their cyborg mechanic called a Cyborg Tinkerer. Then she gets forced to kill or maim cyborgs to remove their parts if they lose this really retarded death game. Sounds like that would be interesting. Lots of emotional trauma and personal turmoil to be had, moral choices to be explored. But nope. Most of Gwen's brain power is being used moistening her panties whenever she sees a hot chick or guy. Namely, this one guy and girl named Bastion and Aurora. And now, an excerpt from my favorite chapter in the book. As Aurora's steps neared, Gwen said to Bastion, "I want you to fuck me." She turned to Aurora, where she stood beside the bed. "And I want you to fuck my face. Any objections?" Bastion and Gwen's romance is decently crafted. It's not good, but the bar ain't so high. The romance between Aurora and Gwen is the epitome of insta-love. Like, on both ends. They look at each other in the beginning, and Aurora is literally wetting herself at the sight of Gwen. And then there is this one part where Aurora's cyborg arm is damaged and getting worked on by Gwen, and Aurora is trying to seduce her and ask her out. I told myself I wanted to practice reviewing without doing too many spoilers, so I won't say why. Because it is technically plot relevant. It is fucking stupid, but it is relevant. But the scene is like Aurora is leaning in really close while Gwen is working on her arm. The book explains it like they are nearly kissing. And I had to pause, because that's just fucking weird. I mean, I'm not a lesbian, so maybe I don't understand how lesbians flirt, but I have had human interactions before. Actually, I used to be a dental assistant. And if some bitch that I have never met before just randomly leaned in like she was trying to kiss me while she was sitting in my chair, I'd be like, yo, what the fuck, back up? Then I would like punch her in the throat or something by reflex. Like, what the fuck, ho? I don't know you like that. My point is, couldn't she just ask her out after having a normal conversation? You can be flirty without being creepy. That's the thing. Nothing in this book is well executed. Not in my opinion. I can say that the idea is pretty cool, though. Illegal cyborgs fighting to be seen as equals in an unfair society. As Gwendolyn Grimm would say in the first chapter of Cyborg Tinkerer, nicely fucking done. However, why does the Hunger Games styled competition have to be a thing? And I remember thinking this when I read The Savior's Champion, but that whole trope just seems tacked on to the concept half-heartedly. But even more so in this book, the competition literally is being done for no reason. I remember thinking, in between fits of laughter and stifling my insatiable desire to DNF the fuck out of this book, that the main antagonist, her name is Celeste, her plan could have been done without having a death competition. Like, it literally almost did not matter, especially when we get to the end and the villain does this evil villain monologue. Yes, a literal James Bond styled villain monologue, first to nobody and then another one in front of her mortal enemy. Like, she literally walks into a room full of guns and enemies by herself and is surrounded. She literally brainwashed an assassin to kill the enemy that motivated her to go through this entire convoluted plan, along with bringing a motherfucking dragon and an army of super soldiers with her covertly. She like pulled a Trojan horse on the entire fucking city. I assumed she did this so that she could hide out while her plan played out. Then even if it failed, which it does because this is basically a middle grade novel with basically no nuance or complexities to mull over in any deeper capacity. So of course we know the villain is going to be taken down with little effort, but she would be as far from the crime scene as possible. But nope. She just walks into the line of fire so she can deliver a fucking monologue. And we still don't get a valid explanation, and let me emphasize, I mean a valid explanation as to why she had to have Gwen steal everybody's fucking cyborg parts. Or why it had to be done in conjunction with the fucking competition. This book is nonsensical. It falls into a so bad it's good territory. Okay, so Gwen is basically a Mary Sue. She can fix prosthetics, build new prosthetics, despite not having any experience, aside from a few months of cyborg tinkering after reading a few books. She wins every fight, everyone loves her, besides the villains. Everyone wants to fuck her, and she wants to fuck everyone, which I would have no problem with that. But they want to fuck her for no reason. At some point in the beginning, yes, this stupid, horny shit starts off right at page 1. Trust me. Some random hooker solicits her for sex, citing that, yes, Gwen is in fact better than everyone else at the sexy times. Meg, I am not being condescending. I have joked around a lot, because that's what I do. I have fun doing that. You should be an erotica writer. I think you'd be very good at it. And I'm trying my best not to sound like an asshole this time. I really think you would be good at it. I keep bringing the horny shit up because it stands out more than the actual plot. And it is way funnier in this particular book because this book was trying to take itself seriously as a steampunk book. Also, I want to mention one more thing. How I hate how a lot of woke and inclusive stories in general, not just books, portray gays and people in the LGBTQ. The inclusion of this demographic of person is just tacked on to this story as if it were some type of badge to signal how virtuous the writer is. More often than not, it comes off as very half-hearted and disingenuous, because more often than not, they are not written well or like an actual person would be written. I only want to say I prefer when people focus more on writing well-crafted characters and a well-crafted plot. This does not do that, even though it is trying to represent the LGBTQ and polyamorous peoples. But this book sucks, and I gave it a 1 star on Goodreads. You should read it yourself, whoever's listening, just in case you want to make your own opinion, or if you want to laugh your ass off, and you should form your own opinion. Okay, bye-bye.